And we are live on ABT Live number 50. Yep, we are 50 years old. You're not 50 years old.
Not yet.
No, you're not. I'm the oldest here. Me and ABT Live, we both got 50 in our ages. Welcome to our anniversary show. We started this show in COVID. It used to be called Lockdown Live. It was done from one of my spare rooms in my house or at Nicole's place, or if we're allowed to go out, we could come and do it here. And it's grown into the megalopolis of a show that it is today, because tonight is definitely an all-star cast. We have got the president of AFTA, Michael Starkey, on, gun lure designer.
Unbelievable.
We have Gussy, Bassmaster Classic champion. We caught up with him in Canada before he jumps on a plane to Australia to fish for Barra.
Good bloke.
We got Dicko from Wilson's. We got him live. This isn't a cutout. And we got Josh from Samaki live as well. So we have a bit of expertise here tonight. It is not just me talking and throwing to recorded pieces. It's me talking and talking, these guys talking and throwing to recorded pieces. We have Carl. Carl landed this morning. We caught up with Carl when he was picking up Mark Sarek's boat. Well, he wasn't picking up Mark Sarek's boat. He was observing the mess which was Mark Sarek's boat deck as all the new Humminbird gear was going on. But we did do a story with him this morning. And we have got a couple of members of Australia's nearly all-conquering black bass fishing team from Italy, Mitch Cone and little Tommy, who miraculously didn't get arrested and made it back to Australia on the correct flight. So it is an all-star show tonight. And guys, thank you very much for taking your time. Josh, you've come up from the Gold Coast. Dicko, you come from Bayside to the heart of Logan City, where, with any luck, your cars will have tyres at the end of tonight. Josh, thanks for coming up.
No worries.
How far is this from your factory? We've been to your factory and done stories a few times. About half an hour drive, maybe?
Yeah, it took me about 40 minutes, I think.
Yep.
Worked back tonight and just drove straight here.
Up to the big smoke.
Minutes.
And
Yep.
And Dicko, did you come after work or did you go home first?
I actually went home first, and I really, if you, as a bird flies, it's only just over the hill.
Really? Okay, yeah, but it is probably 15 kilometres around.
Yeah, it is around. Yeah,
around Bedman
I think
there.
it was 30 minutes. So, it's not too bad.
So some really good locals, and we all know, look, there are a couple of hubs of fishing in Australia, but this southeast Queensland, it's a bit of a hub of boat building and a bit of hub of fishing, and it dragged you away from the central coast of New South Wales. You said goodbye to the small rents, and you said g'day to the big rents on the Gold Coast, didn't you?
Very much so. Yeah, I'm loving it. Still loving it.
And of course, both of these guys are fishing the next transfer Barra events called the Barra Tour. This show is all about the Barra Tour. It's those 4 events that we hold around Mackay. They start on Team Dam, where it's Michael Starkey's atomic round. We go to one of the Wilson rounds on Kinchin, which is always a Barra fest. And then, of course, we have the 2 Faust rounds, one of which is yours, and that's the epitome of sponsor karma, because you win your own tournament every year, don't you? Are you going to go for a 3-peat this year?
Let's not bring it up.
Let's talk about it real hard, because we want to make it work. Someone's got to unseat Tommy and Josh.
There'll be plenty of people trying.
That's
anyway.
it, there will be. And then, of course, finishes off with yours. We have the Humminbird Overnighter.
Yep.
And, so it's
a marathon.
The Barra Tour, I think, and I'm a bit off script here, but just while we're talking about Barra, how good is it to see the international attention that it's attracted this time? We've had Carl and Gussy across before, and Gussy now is a total addict.
He loves it.
He loves it.
Oh, yeah.
He loves both the fishing and the social side of it.
He's addicted to that barra bite.
Carl's back, but Jacob Wheeler, number 1 bass fisherman in the world, is signed up for Barra Tour fishing with Timmy, of all people, who's hot on a roll after Tinaroo.
He is hot on a roll. He's got to stand up and make sure he produces.
Well,
no pressure, Timmy.
Normally, Timmy's on a hot roll.
Timmy's got to drive the boat this time.
Exactly. He's not the passenger princess this time.
Yeah, nice drop there.
Anyway, we'll talk about that in a little while. I've introduced my co-stars here tonight. And of course, I can do Logan City jokes tonight because I've got a couple of wingmen to sort of protect me, my bodyguards. So
At least you're dressed for the occasion.
I am dressed for the occasion in our Zerek BARRA Series singlet, which I think you will see modelled a lot at Peter Faust Dam at Camp Kanga this year. I don't know if you're going to wear one, Josh. The Samaki logo's on the back there somewhere.
Oh, just remember the sunscreen, that's all.
That's it?
Yeah.
What do you mean? This is tan, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So we've had a few things going on since the last show. First one was the Bass Pro Grand Final. It was a 13 fishing Bass Pro Grand Final held on Lake St Clair. Big congratulations to our winners. Timmy Jones won that $50,000 plus Alloy Craft, Mercury, Green Marine and BLA package. And I think he's going to keep it as his saltwater boat. Really popular winner. Timmy just started fishing as a non-boater last year. Then he stepped up to being a boater this year. fished his first grand final and won the thing, and that's just how ABT works. Who shares wins? You come in, you learn how to do it, then you take the bread of all the guys that have been doing it for 10 years and haven't won it. So that was a great winner. And in the non-boater side, Kelvin Hatton. Kelvin's been fishing for probably 3 or 4 years, and he's won a few events. He's the quiet achiever. His nickname's Casso. I don't know if that's after cassowary. I don't know what it is. If you know what it is, put it down below why Kelvin's nickname is Casso. Casanova, Nicole reckons.
There
All right. You reckon that's it? I thought it was cassowary. Anyway, so those two guys did amazing. The 3-day format we had 2 days where you had to make the top half of the field cut. Then we pissed off all of the losers. We pissed off all the non-boaters, including the champion. Went to the top 15 boats with observers on board. And, of course, everyone is, all the observers, taking awesome footage. And I'm nearly finished doing those grand final highlights. So there's some really awesome footage in that. And I'm going to enjoy releasing that to you. So 13 Fishing, thank you for that, for the series. It was a great year. For the first time in 5 years, Matty Langford didn't win AOY. He got juggled up a little bit this year, and we're going from there. We've also been to Tinaroo, and of course Tinaroo, Dicko, we have seen Tinaroo at its finest. We have also seen Tinaroo when it's nearly a snowstorm.
Yeah.
So this year, the catch rates, the weather was a lot warmer. It fished really good in the pre-fish, I think, and then as it got cooler during the event, it backed off, but the actual catch rates were very similar to last year. We thought it was tough last year.
Yeah.
It was nearly as tough this year. The winning weights are only about 5 kilos up on the year before. So when you do the stats, it was like, oh no, this year was heaps better than last year, but no, it was about the same. It was, but as always, you missed it this year because Tommy was trying to save some money from going to Italy or US or somewhere.
Yep.
But Dicko, it can be a real feast or famine for you on that joint.
It can. Mate, I've seen it when it's just absolutely brilliant. 25 fish in a session is pretty cool. But I've also been there when I haven't caught a hot.
It's
fish.
25 sessions for a fish.
Yeah, I think I was up to 16 or something last year.
16 sessions without a fish. So,
like
and congratulations to Joe and Tim. They won
definitely.
2 rounds head to head,
100%.
fishing way up the top of the Barron River where the water was running in. It was a little bit warmer up there. Some of the lake was 22, 23, 24 degrees. They were in that 25, 26 degree water, and I think that was part of their secret to success.
It was pretty funny because Timmy was camped beside us in the little units there, and he's very, he's asking Adam for, I need some of these jig heads. I need some of these jig heads. And Adam's like, where's all yours? He goes, oh, we straightened them out. So they didn't land it. Imagine if they landed all their fish on that first dive. Well, they would have had an awesome session.
Mate, imagine if we caught all the stuff we saw in our live scope.
Oh,
That's what it's like,
that's
mate.
just normal, isn't
That
it?
is, isn't it? So
But it was good to see them come back and do really well.
And as we say now, Timmy, pressure is on. You got the best bass fishermen in the world there saying, come on, mate, where are they?
Yeah.
You'll be right.
No, you'll be right.
It's all good. So we've had that, and of course, I think all of us were following the progress of the Australian World Black Bass Championship fishing team that went to Italy. And we interviewed Coney and Tommy later on, but Josh, you were one of the supporters of theirs. You donated some product to their raffle, and their raffle's doing really good now. And it's still open. We talk about that a bit later in the show, but you donated some tackle to it. And,
it was
I bought
heavy.
$500 worth of tickets. I thought that was great value.
Yeah, there's a lot. Whoever wins is going to do really well out of it.
Good gear out of it.
But support the boys.
Tell us, essentially they end up coming second overall, and by sort of the narrowest of margins. Were you a bit sort of hard on your sleeve, thinking maybe they might win this?
Oh yeah, like every time I got off the water, I was up early, like just with the time zone differences, talking to Tommy, how you going, how the pre-fish is going, and then obviously they had a solid start out of the gate, and they had a solid plan together, but you just don't know in tournaments, but they
nearly did it.
Oh, it was unbelievable. Yeah.
I think the Aussie team did really well because of their Aussies are good at sharing. Like our motto is who shares wins, and if they know it's a team tournament, they're very willing to share within the group. And I think that that they executed their plan really well. It was a good group of guys that were all gun fishermen, but it wasn't a team of champions. It was the champion team, wasn't it? That nearly got it done. And I thought to beat the home country and to beat the USA was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's very good.
And Canada too.
And well,
Not,
Gussy's unapologetic for it.
he wasn't happy about it. Anyway, you'll have to go next year, Gussy.
Gussie said he is going next year.
Yeah, did he?
Do it. Yeah, that's it. And finally, before we dig into a bit of the stuff the guys have got here, the Bream Grand Final, the Daiwa Bream Series, their Grand Final field is set. Nicole's got a slide of it here. I haven't got a print out of it, but I'm going to read it on this little TV here because it is a star-studded field. Nicole, do you want to bring up that slide?
I'm fine.
Oh, okay. Well, let me tell you, firstly, that in the Bream Grand Final, nobody's won it twice ever. So we've had teams that have won Barra Angler of the Year and Angler of the Year. Bass Grand Finals have been won multiple times in multiple years, but never in 20-something years has the Bream Grand Final been won twice. So I'm just going to count. There's some previous Grand Final winners there. Mario Vukic, Mark Crompton has won a Grand Final. I've won a Grand Final. Let's go down the list there. Mark Healy hasn't won a Grand Final, about one of the few things he hasn't won. Jace Mayberry's won a Grand Final. There you go. Jamie McEwen will be deadly on that arena, but he hasn't won a Grand Final. So there is a, 4 or 5 out of 30, 1 in 6 chance that maybe we're going to for the first time, we're going to get a dual Bream Grand Final winner. Pretty good Grand Final to win that one. It's an Allo Craft 4.98 with a 115 Merc Pro XS on the back, on a trailer, full Garmin LiveScope setup with twin 10-inch sounders. It's a pretty hot boat. It's probably worth closer to 60,000 that with all the Garmin gear on it. So the Bream Grand Final field is set now. We're going to have the non-boaters are sitting there. We've got 30 boats and we've got 29 nonnies. We run one nonny short just in case there's any sort of breakdowns. I don't know if we've had a non-boater win it twice. I know Neil Kelly in the middle of the field there, he's won it on Lake Macquarie before. The non-boaters are fishing the first 2 days and then they take day 3 off and they go out being an observer. So we award that the non-boater prize after day 2, which is, it's off camera, but it's that board of tackle just over there. It's worth over $4,000 worth of stuff with rods and reels and all that sort of stuff. The non-boaters are fishing for that, and then they're very gracious. They hang around the next day and they go and they run cameras for us on the thing. So a new format for the Grand Final. It was really popular at Bass, and I think for you guys watching, it's going to be a pretty decent spectacle to watch at Lake Macquarie down on the Central Coast. Now, we have got a prize tonight. We haven't talked about the mechanic of this yet, but one of the things it includes is whatever your size singlet is, you two can look like this pasty white pirate stream right here.
What do you got on there? Extra large?
This is extra small, I think.
Small.
This is a medium. They're very standard sizing, but this is one part of the prize. We have all the different sizes of these, from 6XL down to small. So it includes one of those singlets, and it includes some of this other stuff here. Start handing this over, Dicko. Got a couple of spools of the Atomic lines, as endorsed by Michael Starkey, gun product tester at Atomic. We have this. Look at this. This is a Pito. It's not a pedo. It's a Pito. Now, Timmy's been catching big barra on those, and look, we have to listen to what he says
He
now.
doesn't call it a pedo.
He calls it a pedo, doesn't he? We got some of the the Boost Stars. These are the duo ones. So the plastics from Wilson's, and this happens to be one of the leftover kits from the Australian Open. So we have these. They've got the flat shads. They've got some live mullets in there.
And the fish trap.
All sorts of them, mate. I think the live mullet's starting to sport a few copies now too, Dicko.
Yeah.
Seen a few around the traps?
That's all right.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, some of the gun social media guys are throwing them around. Awesome. So,
But
for you guys, I want you to... What am I going to do? What's the mechanics tonight? Just tell us where you're from. That's the easy one. State, postcode, whatever it is. Tell us where you're watching from. It doesn't matter if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. Nicole will trawl those comments. And let me give you a hint. If you put a little bit of a suck up to Nicole comment in there, you're probably going to have a better chance of getting picked. I'm just saying. So go your hardest. But don't go sleazy. She doesn't like sleazy. She likes attention. No, she actually doesn't like attention. She just likes to be acknowledged. There's my hint. And plus where you are. Put it in the comments. You might win that prize. There's probably about $250, $300 worth of stuff there.
We'll throw a couple of Reddicks in.
Are you going to throw some Reddicks in?
Mate, why not? New models.
Show us what you're going to throw in.
We'll throw in a couple of the brand new
couple of these
90
ones.
mils.
Okay, so these are the 90 mils.
Yep.
I was fishing with Jamie McEwen the other night, telling him how, I don't know if I want to put a 90 on. They'd never catch me a barra. And as I'm saying that, it's donk catching a barra.
Got a barra.
So now these are my favourite barra lures. This is great. So a couple of the Reddicks. That's awesome. The 90 mil, and these are the deep or the...
Yeah, double deep.
Double deeps.
Yep, double deep 90 mil.
If you go and barra fishing, you've got to have Reddicks in your thing nowadays. So now it's a $250 prize that we got sitting there. So let us know where you're from. We're going to go from there. We're going to have a little break now. We're going to come back and get a bit in depth with Dicko and Josh. And let's go and talk to Michael Starkey first. He'll prep us for a bit of tackle talking. So here he is. He's the president of AFTA. He's the president of Froglies. He's the mayor of Ballina, and he is officially the best barra fisherman in this set of people that are here after the Australian Open. Michael Starkey, welcome. Well done for smashing me at the Oz Open.
That's it. We had to count the last tournament at the moment. So at the last tournament, I beat you. So I'm going with that theory.
I've made it all run with that too. It's just it's a rolling thing. You know, I'm only one tournament away from shedding that title. So,
no, it adjusts as I feel like it needs to adjust.
Let's we'll see how Teamborough pans out, because let's face it, Teamborough, the Atomic Teamborough Round, it's the very next event in the Zerek BARRA series. You're the naming sponsor of it. You've made the effort the last year or two to get up to the BARRA Tour, and you use that for a little bit of R&D, a bit of socialising, a little bit of branding, and let's face it, it's sort of half the industry is nearly there nowadays, trialling and testing the new BARRA products. You know, they've got the internationals there. You've got half the afterboard seems to be there, and some of the tackle manufacturers. So it is a real melting pot for BARRA, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's great because it's one of the only opportunities. Like I get a week and a half, almost 2 weeks to go barra fishing and dedicated, get samples lined up to be able to go. Like last year, I was using stuff that is coming out this year. Unfortunately, it got a bit delayed for this actual comp for public release, but they will be out a couple weeks after, I think. But and those were designed last year, or not designed, they were designed from the year before tournament. They were prototyped and adjusted as needed last year and caught a few fish on the tournaments last year. I think one come second, third, or whatever it was last year, caught some of them on last year, and then this year, yeah, they've been doing well again.
So, and let's face it, if ABT didn't get you out fishing, how often would you go fishing in tournament situation?
In tournaments, not very often, because there wouldn't be many other tournaments to run. I go fishing quite regularly because all my R&D, I design everything. So all the rods, lures, everything I've got to test. I make sure I go on different trips to do it. But in tournament situations for the barra, I find barra a bit hard to kind of drive that 15 hours from where I live to go for that fishing. So this is to get that time to actually put in one hit. It's pretty good to be able to do. And let's face it, the social aspect isn't really the downer of the tournament. It's kind of my highlight to be able to go have a bit of fun and also do some work at the same time.
Now, for people that haven't done the BARRA Tour, there are two Micks that fish the BARRA Tour. One you're kind of related to, Nearly, and there's you. And we call one of them Good Mick and one Bad Mick. Which one's which? I'm
definitely the Bad Mick because he's my bodyguard. So he's built like a brick shit house. So he's over there with the best of them. And he controls that everyone that wants to bash me up when I be a smart ass to you usually.
No, that's good. Look, and we call him Good Mick as well. Although don't get in the road, don't get between Good Mick and the buffet. Because
don't play with food. Don't touch his food.
No.
He won't even take on any gambling bets about food. That's off the cards.
Okay, so yeah, look, if I was to make, I think an ABT eating A team, it would consist of Good Mick, Mitch Petty, and Tommy Wood. I think the three of them between them have like 6 hollow legs that would put away a lot of food, and you and I would be a distant 100 and something. I think.
I can't even. I should see what he takes on the boat each night. And it's insane. I've never seen anyone carry canned food like he does that eats it cold out of a tin. We're not talking like the little tuna tins, which you go through a half a dozen a night. We're talking about the full chunky, the microwave soup tins you're supposed to heat up and eat.
Pours it in.
Straight out of the can.
He's a good man. Anyway, let's get back to Teamborough. In the background, as people have been entering this event, you've been sending them little parcels of goodies. Explain what's been going on in that regard.
Yeah, so a bit of the feedback over the last few years when we've been giving away product and stuff like that. And I know myself and trialing stuff, I always like to get a bit confident on it before a tournament. So one of the main reasons why give it away at a tournament? No one's realistically going to use unless they've already got it and got confidence in it. Yep. So why not give people during the pre-fish a bit of an opportunity to have a crack at something different, something new, and just think outside the square a bit, because every lure's got its own advantages, disadvantages. So it might work for some people, and I might just change it up and see something else out there. So tin in advance gives them that opportunity.
What I haven't got one, but what have the packs got in them? What did you send to people? Give us an example.
Reel baits, a couple of mullet, I think, from memory, and the slim twitcher hard body for the jerk baiting stuff. So especially what I've been using the last few years for the barra. It's exactly what I use. There's nothing different. Straight out of the pack, throw them out. And do the slim twitchers occasionally if I'm jerk baiting for suspending fish. We're in the middle dam on scopes. I will put a little sticky weight on the bottom of it, just be on the hook like one of our sticky weights there. But that's the only time I play with it.
Yep.
Just to get that sink air.
And then are you running a promotion if people catch fish on the baits? What's the
Yeah, so, well, we haven't announced anything yet. So this is going to be the announcement we're doing now because Nicole loves the pre-organised stuff. So this is just for her. This is actually a week ahead of my normal scheduling. So as I said, I normally give away, last year I gave away my prize money from previous year to cash for this event. And I'm going to do it exactly the same this year, just play it up a little bit different. So I think I come close to $1,500 or whatever it was last year for the prize money. So I'm going to give away that at Teenborough. But we're going to do it based on pre-fishing, just to mix it up a little bit more.
Yep.
Because everyone can win money during the comp, and Nicole loves a bit of a challenge.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is we are going to, you've got the lures. If you catch a fish, a barra on one of those lures and take a photo, you're going to hashtag team whatever 24 atomic, Teenborough 24 or something like that. We'll make it up and send your information out, an email after this live thing, so we actually have the full detail.
Yep.
And tag Atomic Tackle, our Facebook pages. You'll go into a draw. So, and we're going to give away 5 entries for free, which means we're going to give you $250 of that for free.
Yep.
And then we're going to give away 500. So I think that's actually more than the $1,750, but that's what I give away. So the first one drawn out of those people that did submit online,
yep,
I'm going to give that team $500. The other 5 teams are going to get $250 each.
Nice. And
So-
is this like at the event you're going to have the cash like going like this?
Yeah, it's going to be the full. I'm looking for one of those guns where I can just sit there and spray it with the
Spray
money.
it out.
But it's getting one that fits the Australian money has always been my challenge.
So, and just asking for a mate, where do you keep that cash before you give it away? In your back
Usually
pocket?
your glove box after I've had it last year is a problem.
Michael, we always appreciate your generosity, and I think it's a great idea. When you're out on your pre-fish, you may as well catch a barra. It can be a barra of any size, I assume, on that lure. Post it on socials, hashtag it right, and it could be free money to you.
Exactly, yeah. We're not asking, and like we know we don't like holding barra with lures, mounts, and anything like that. So we don't have to be crazy. Just catch a barra, be honest, because that's what all about. This barra tour is all about mateship and knowing what's going on. And hashtag the right thing. Tell us what you caught it on in the text, and we will then give you part in the draw. So as I said, there's going to be 6 up for grabs. So there's only 26 teams entered so far, and there's a few sponsored teams that I probably won't enter. Who knows, Cord might, but everyone else will see. But we might go ahead and basically gives you pretty good odds of getting your entry fee at least back, or $500 if you're the first one out.
100%. I'm going to be catching one on one of the slim jerks, mate. I'm going to catch one on, and I'm going to be tagging the crap out of that thing. So we all know that money's great, but Michael Starkey's money is even better.
Everyone loves a bit of cash. Why not? And it's a good way to return. Everyone does the sponsor stuff, and during the event, we obviously sponsor and the prize money and the product throughout the whole event. But always like to do something different at one of our sponsored events. So why not just mix it up and throw Nicole a side curveball and see how we go at every sponsored tournament we like. We like mixing it up.
That's awesome, mate. And for the record, Teenborough is fishing really well. I think the Barra Tour is going to start with a bang. They reckon they lost a lot of big fish when they went over in the flood. I don't reckon they lost as many as they think, because they are catching plenty of big ones. And around the edges, there's just heaps of little fellas that went in 18 months ago. So I think it's going to be a good mix of big and little fish, and I think it's going to be one of the stars of the Barra Tour this year. So I'm sure that was your strategy to sponsor that one at exactly the right time, and hopefully it's a gigantic winning weight that does it. You know, we're waiting for some of the internationals to get hooked onto those Teenborough Barra, because I think of all the lakes in the Barra Tour, they are the meanest, fattest, angriest Barra in the whole joint in Teenborough.
They are pretty solid. I can't vouch for that because it is the only dam I'm still donutted on. So that's why I want to sponsor it to go back to it. Because I'm trying to get that sponsor karma out because it is my nemesis, that dam. The other dams I've sorted straight. Like last year I went from the donut straight up to whatever I come, second, third, whatever it was at Kinchin. So it was a bit of a interesting curveball going straight from one dam to the next overnight.
And I know Nicole, the viewers can't see Nicole now, but Nicole did a 5-year apprenticeship. Was it, Nicole? Give us a thumbs up. It was 5 years. Yep, 5 years on Teenborough before she caught her first tournament fish. So if you managed to buy your way into it in the 3rd year, mate, you've done well, and you've invested.
Second, I couldn't finish it the first year, so this is my second. So that's a more of a challenge.
All right. Well, let's see if the sponsor karma kicks in. Michael, thanks for the time this afternoon. Thank you for your support and all the product you sent out to the guys. Look forward to seeing you in a bit over a week's time up north.
Yeah, and thanks very much to ABT for running it and all the other sponsors, because at the end of the day, the sponsors what makes this great. And that's what's great about this event is this week-long, week and a half, everyone gets together. Who cares who, what background, what you're from, what you sell at the day, on the night, and especially having the dinners, the lunches afterwards. we're all on exactly the same playing field. There's no he, we, that. It's we all together and have some fun.
No, it is right. And look, it doesn't matter who you are, you'll end up with an atomic sticker on your car. You know that.
We'll bring some extra ones up this year.
All right, Mike. Thanks for joining us, mate. We'll see you soon.
I don't know about you guys, but geez, that last spear of the Spanish mackerel in the water was pretty angry. I don't know if you saw that, Josh.
Yeah,
It was. If he didn't swim away, his nose is stuck in the bottom somewhere. But thanks, Michael, for making the time for coming on the show and for sponsoring those events. ABT is a bit unique that we don't ask heaps of money from anyone in the industry. Everyone just kicks the can a bit, and we make a great environment. Now, Josh. You're sort of recently become sort of from a passive sponsor to an active sponsor of ABT. We see you at the events now and you're winning the trophies, and you are just as super keen as anyone else to win these things. How much influence does BARRA Tour have on some of your design principles? Because I know you're pretty hands-on in being ultra meticulous about making sure these baits that you sell are spot on.
Yeah, 100%. Like obviously everything starts for me in a swimming pool. We draw it, we print it out, and then, but now on the BARRA Tour, especially with like fishing live, it just changes. It's changed the whole game, and we can fine tune until product's ready to swim out of the packet.
I think what live has done is not only does it let you see a fish eat your lure, it lets you see what a fish does when it doesn't want to eat your lure.
Yeah,
I'm always amazed that like you get a little tiny redick like this sitting in the water doing nothing, and a fish which you might up to be metre 10, metre 20 long can go up to it. And this spooks that.
Yes.
How does that happen?
I don't know. And then half an hour later, it'll swim from 5 metres away and just eat it.
And annihilate it.
Annihilate it.
So we're just dealing with animals, aren't we? I suppose some of the biggest news in your part of the world is you are now the decoy guy in Australia.
Yeah.
And decoy, of course, if you are a barra fisherman, I can guarantee that we've all taken some hooks off lures and put decoys on them. How's that been for you?
Yeah, it's been great. Decoy have been unbelievable to work with. We've always used decoy on a lot of our products. And now we're developing a lot of product for especially barramundi market and bass market these coming seasons.
Yep. These things here, these got barra sort of written all over them. These big sort of weedless worm hooks. Tell us about these.
Yeah, so this is the Magnum from Decoy. Tommy and I, we fish these actually at Mondi up in the back when we're pre-fishing. A lot of plastics and stuff are rolling through. So we've got full range of sizing and some new models coming a little bit later in the year for next year's barra season. So just to sort of show you that we are developing a lot of product with the Decoy quality product.
Yep.
And then we'll fine tune it for the Aussie market.
Let's dig down in specifically. How do you find these little screw-ins? I've got little screw-ins at the top. How do they work on the TPE plastics? Have you found a way to make them easily get in there, or do you just have to
screw them in hard? Yeah, we haven't had a problem. Like we fish kind of a range of plastics, but we haven't had a problem at all with them. Just got to twist them on. Once they're on, they don't come off, especially the TPE material.
Yep.
But they're great.
I think with dropping lakes, you find that weed beds always thicken up those weed channels, get harder, and increasingly we're going to be fishing weedless stuff to get into where the fish are.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. I think if you can make a hook which is strong enough to hold a weight which is going to plane through the weeds, and then a screw-in eye which is going to hold in the plastic, then you've got the elements of a must-have in your box. Now, tell us about these fellas. Everyone has these.
Yep. So YS81 is a very famous hook for Decoy, and it has been for a very long time. And then probably 3 years ago, we wanted to make a recurved point, especially for Barra. And then over the time, we've developed. It's called a YS22 now. YS22, so brand new hook. It's about 10% stronger than a YS81, but similar weight. So it obviously doesn't affect any action of lures, which is very important on fussy fish like barramundi. But full range of sizes, and they're just about to land in the country.
Cool, and they're going to be available in retail packs as well as OEMs on lots of lures.
Yeah, retail packs, and a lot of our new products coming out are featuring the brand new YS22.
Now, I think one of your successes recently for Barra especially has been the old Reddick.
Yes.
And I know you gave us a bit of a hint in a recent live about some little tiny brimmy style ones you've got coming out. We're really excited about those.
Yep.
But the Barra family has not stood still, has it?
No, definitely not. We keep, obviously, you keep wanting to bring new colours out, and that reason why the Barra turns away, and then keep
that makes you make one new colours.
Yeah, new colours are a reason why. We definitely found that. I mean, you've obviously fell in love with the white bait and the pink lady.
Yep.
In the Reddicks, but we keep continuing to. Last year we done really well on a black and gold in Kinship, Tommy and I.
Yep.
And this year we've really developed a lot of colours to suit the Barra Tour.
Is this one here come from that photo of the bud runner I sent you?
That's from you, yeah.
I love the bud runner. I think they
match
just
the hatch, yeah.
in Kinchin especially, every second fish that you pull out of the water, what does it spit out?
Bud
Bud runner that you can actually put back in the water and they swim away. So I think it's great that you take a lot of local inspiration for your colours.
For sure,
as well.
yeah. That's it. I can't wait to throw these because a lot of these fish haven't seen before, so I'm pretty keen to throw these on the Mackay rounds this year.
And wait a sec, what's that one look like? What's that?
Tinkerbell, mate.
Tinkerbell. What does that look like? Apart from the Mardi Gras.
I love Tinkerbell.
Nicole loves Tinkerbell, she says.
Yeah.
What does that imitate?
Oh, I don't know.
A fairy tale.
It just looks really good.
It just looks good.
It just looks really good.
What else have you got here, mate, for your show and tell? I know the DS80 is the staple. Like I love that. I think it's the right size.
Yep.
But you got the MS and the double deep 90s now.
Yep.
Why the 10 mil larger lure? Does it make that much of a difference to action and to castability, etc.?
So obviously the pelagic fish that we're fishing in open water, the 80 is perfect, especially for jacks and that fishing like locally on the Gold Coast here in Brisbane. But we've made the 90 because it features the decoy YS81
Proper hooks.
So proper hooks. So guys fishing when you're fishing structure, like at Faust, if you're fishing heavy in the timber and you need to lean on that fish,
They can lean on with
you
that.
can lean on with that. You've got plenty of power there in the hooks.
What's the difference in diving depth between the M and the double D?
So the D there, as you go bigger in the lure, it's hard to get them to go as deep to maintain the same action. So we're getting around. Tommy and I can get the DDS 90 down to about 15 foot on scope in 90 with
About the same as the 80.
Very similar to the 80. But you've got that bigger profile for fishing structure.
Awesome. And I do notice that they have the proper hardware on those. I suppose I'm a little bit ginger when it comes to really leaning on a barra that's got maybe that one little hook in the back, but you might feel a little bit more confident with that big one there, ADK. That's a you would retrofit barra lures with that hook and be confident leaning on them?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I see them on your flat shads you throw.
Yeah, I mainly use the mustard ones. So.
The stainless mustard ones.
Yeah.
Anything else you got to show us, Josh, before we get to the next segment, mate? I know you've always got things in the pipeline. Any secrets for these guys? I won't tell anyone, or your opposition, or the guys watch it on TV. Have you got more cool barra stuff coming
There's
out?
a lot coming out, yeah, we do. Tommy and I will be fishing it. We fished a bit at Mondi, and we'll be fishing, obviously, these rounds. But, we just got to make sure they're perfect yet so we can bring them out maybe next year.
Final question. Tell us what's the cycle between you having an idea to it being on sale at the tackle warehouse down the road? What's the time frame usually? Years?
2.5 years, yeah.
So 2.5 years.
2.5, I reckon, on the standard. Some things you get lucky with, and then some things.
Lucky is like 1.5 years.
Yeah. Well, it still take 18 months for sure. I'm sure that's the same for Tico on that.
Yeah.
It'll be the same 2.5 years. So yeah, the drawing part and making the first sample is the easy part. And then,
So we are now seeing post-COVID lures finally.
yeah, that's
So
right.
they're getting on the shelf. All right, well, we've heard enough from Josh. We're going to go to his good drinking buddy from the Barra Tour, Gussy, who is holed up in Canada, winterising everything, and is probably only about 4 or 5 days away from jumping on a plane. Let's catch up with the Canadian snow leopard. Oh, perfect. All right. So here it is, the classic champ, Jeff Gustafsson. This is your third Barra Tour in a row. One would assume that you are probably a little bit addicted to the bite and the fight of Australia's iconic sport fish. Welcome to ABT Live.
Hey guys, yeah, no, I can't wait. We're like, I think Schultz and I are like 4 or 5 days away from heading that direction, and looking forward to it. So I've been in a mad scramble around back at home here. It's going to be like full winter when I get back, so just getting all the boat put away and that things cleaned up. We got the real changing seasons here, so but yeah, I can't wait to get over there and Carl's back. Carl's back in this year, so we're I'm gonna have. I had to be the guide last year, and the results weren't as good, but he can be the guide again, and we're excited.
You don't mind being the the co-angler in your pairings, do you? I notice that you get to Australia, you hit your relaxation button, and you're just sitting in the back of the boat, chucking a big swim bait, waiting for that bite. Explain to maybe some Canadians that are watching this how good that the bite of a barramundi is, especially on a braid leader setup.
Yeah, it's insane. It's undescribable almost. Like, I hooked some that you by the time you load the rod up, they're like 6 feet in the air, and the the bites are violent, and it's yeah, it's amazing. I hope that swim bait, like that's how we kind of caught them, a lot of them a couple of years ago, and last year that wasn't happening as good. You kind of had to be out. If you weren't out in the basin, you probably weren't collecting anything at the end of the tournament. So yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see if it's a little different this year, and but yeah, we're coming sort of armed for doing whatever we got to do to catch those things.
It's interesting. We did drop into Faust to meet the new managers who have given us run of the joint as usual. And we did go for a little bit of a check down near the basin, and they were
Awesome.
very, very sparse. I think it'll be a good swim bait point
Okay.
this year. So yeah, it's not setting up like last year, which I think will fall into your wheelhouse. And look, the stuff has been coming here, Gussy. I got a box through this morning with a whole lot of G Loomis rods in it that are fairly stout. I think they got your name all over them for some Barra. And we've dug into I've got in my
Awesome.
tackle room, I found this box here, and I'll take the lid off it. It's one of Josh's boxes there, but Gussy's Barra Killers, it says. And if I was to go take through that, you've got some some Samaki and Wilson vibes in there that I think might get yourself a jersey, but I think there is a whole lot of your favourite baits in here, Gussy. You love throwing these big molluxes, don't you?
Yeah, that's been the hot bait for sure for me. Well, like I said, last year it was a little tougher. We didn't get nearly as many bites on those, but yeah, Josh's little jerk bait, the Reddick was probably our best bait last year. The live mullet, I actually caught. I had to film some stuff for Lund Boats last week, and I actually filmed a little thing catching big pike on the live mullet, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Works over here too.
They were pretty excited to see those pictures. So thanks for sending those ones through.
Yeah.
Explain again, maybe for some of the Canadians that might be tuning into this. Explain what happens when you get a bite, which is like a bite, and then you come in and you feel your leader, and there's like half a foot of frayed, chewed up leader there, and that happens in like half of a second. Explain that phenomenon.
Yeah, it's the biggest heartbreaker ever. Because yeah, you never know how big these things are going to be, and I know Carl and I for sure hooked some giants like 2 years ago that we got to see and just lost the battle. But yeah, they have teeth like a bass, so you can actually lip them, and not like real sharp teeth like our pike and muskie have or a lot of saltwater fish have, but they're just so strong and powerful. They get jumping and they just rub through the line, and I mean we had 80-pound fluoro leaders on, and they just break us off. So I think we're pretty much on the 100-pound program, for at least for the big baits.
Tell us a little bit of the backstory of your trip to Australia this year has got a lot to do with your favourite band. Tell us that story.
Yeah, so I'm a big Pearl Jam fan, and at the end of after a few 3 or 4 days after the Barra Tour, they're playing in Sydney. It's they've been doing a tour all year, and it's their last show. So I found us a couple tickets, and that's how we're going to finish our trip. So it's at the end of the month, and yeah, excited for it. I've seen them a couple times, but they put on a good show, and it all just kind of lined up too perfect not to go.
That's awesome that you're coming down under to catch Barra and to see Pearl Jam. I think that's ticking a lot of boxes, that one. Hey, also want a bit of the backstory about. It looks like you're sort of stuck in a dungeon there at the moment. Tell us where you're shooting this from right now.
Yeah, so my wife Shelby and I are actually we just started on building a new home at we got a really nice spot. We live on a small lake, and that started about a month ago. So we're actually living at her parents' place right now, and it's only about 10 minutes from our house, so it's been good. I've got a nice shop with all my fishing gear in it, so I've been putting a little time in over there the last while, just getting reorganized after I've been fishing pretty much steady since the end of January, probably averaging like 5 days a week. So it's a big mess now at the end of the year. So cleaning that up before we go on this trip, and but yeah, that's why I'm not in my nice tackle shop or in the house. We're just I'm hiding out here. It's not quite a dungeon, but it probably looks like it for everybody.
So Gussy, another question for you. In Canada, does this remind you of your teenage years, sneaking into girls' rooms in their parents' house?
I was when I was that age, I didn't do so hot with the girls, so you know, no, there was no sneaking into anybody's rooms. I don't think.
But let's
I
face
just wanted to go fishing too much, but
the fishermen get the ladies, mate. The fishermen that get the ladies. I think you're punching well above your weight now with Shelby.
oh yeah, I ended up doing way better than I probably deserved for sure.
Mate, all of Australia, I think, is excited to see the internationals coming across this year. They're going to be happy to see Carl again. Gussie, you saw how quickly we pivoted in the Classic when Carl was doing crap. We were straight onto the Gussie wagon, and I think there'll be a lot of people happy to see you here this year. And I think there's a particular mango tree up at Faust, the Tree of Knowledge. Got your name written all over it this year.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why I really want to come back again. The fishing's fun and awesome, but it's made friends with a lot of the other anglers over the last couple of years, and looking forward to seeing everybody again. And our door will be getting locked to the room, when we're up at Faust for sure. We got pranked last year pretty bad, and don't want to have to put Carl through that.
Oh yeah, Carl couldn't handle you kidding, could he?
No, he wouldn't have liked that probably very much. But yeah, no, world-class prank. A couple of the guys captured in a kidnap at like 3 a.m. right after we went to sleep, and we woke up in the morning and it was pretty much a shit show in that room. So they got us. Literally.
Mate, we appreciate your sense of humour. We look forward to you coming across, and all the guys looking forward to catching up. And we hope the Barra play for you this year, and you can bang your first metre 20 barramundi and get yourself a bit of bash rash on your thumb, because we all know that you're going to find it hard to lift a 120, especially at a Teamborough.
Awesome. I can't wait. And we'll see you guys soon.
Awesome, mate. We'll see you soon. Bye.
I don't know about you guys, but you have like a warm, fuzzy feeling in your heart after you talk to Gussie. He's so pure and kind and just loves everything so hard.
Oh, he's a good bloke. He's a really good bloke.
I feel really bad about laughing at the fact that Echidna literally shat all over their room last year. He still remembers it.
Yeah, I remember it. I wasn't in the room.
I went over to try and help him get it out.
Well, that's right. Did you end up with spines in your hand or what?
No, someone else come in with a box or something.
And away they go. Dicko, Wilson's via all your brands, Zerek, Duo, Mustard, being great sponsors of Barra, and I think you can be sort of responsible for the Barra renaissance we've having recently. The Barra Tour sort of come and gone over the years, often in conjunction with whether they're fishing the lakes. We had Mondra and Awonga just empty out of Barra for nearly a decade. It was in the wilderness, but they're back now. And I don't think I'm being just an event promoter to say that this year everything is lining up for it to be Mickey Mouse on the Barra Tour.
I have to agree. This next few weeks I think will be really good. It seems like, talking to a lot of the guys and that up there, they're
catching.
It's starting to catch.
They're catching. The lakes are all at the right level. The weed beds are all settled down. None have had massive rises. They've all just had this gentle fall, which I think Barra really like. That Barra don't like massive change in anything, do they? They just like things to be pretty constant. Sort of like me. Just don't change. Just keep it the same.
Talking to the guys, and they're catching a good mixture of size. So from little ones right through to, metre 14, metre 15 fish. So it should be good.
I think for Wilson's, I think one of your star performers in the last few years has definitely been the live mullet. Yeah. And I alluded to before, you're doing well when you're getting competitors in the marketplace jumping on the wagon.
Yeah.
And I suppose at a professional level, you're probably cranky that people are doing it, but realistically, it's flattering that they look at your lure and say, "Oh, I need one of those."
Sometimes you got to take it as a compliment,
Yeah.
So, but that thing there is just like, along with the live scope and stuff like that, people are just loving this lure. Like, throw it at a weed or throw it off the live scope. It's gold.
And I'll diverge a little bit, because a lot of people have asked me, they go, "Oh, Morgo, now that America is going to limit the use of live sonar, are you going to do it as well?" And it's like, I have no reason to limit it. Why would I limit technology which helps people catch fish? And remember that Barra are not easy to catch at the best of times, even with live sonar. So,
I told you what I was doing today. putting an extra one on.
Putting an extra one on there. So all you do with more live sonar is you see different angles of how
That's
the fish
right.
are rejecting your lure.
That's
So-
it. That's it.
And
That's
look,
how you learn.
but as I was talking about with Josh, isn't it a great learning tool to see, you know, if you make a lure where a barra sees it, swims after it and tries to catch it and eat it, as opposed to seeing it and running for the hills, that's a real litmus test of how your design goes.
Well, we use it a lot for seeing how like the tracking depth, like especially on like big plastics, mullets and things like that, where you can actually see, you can throw it out and you can wind it in and you can see what depth it sits.
That's right, your cadence compared to the depth. And some lures actually run really deep. Like I was surprised when we were in the pool up at Tinaroo recently.
Yep.
I was surprised how deep a shallow X-Rap, I thought an X-Rap was shallow, and an X-Rap gets down 4 or 5 feet. It's like, I didn't think it would even go half that much. Same with your duo.
Yeah.
Like the duo didn't look like a deep diver, but it got to the bottom pretty easily.
Yeah.
And those little nuances in shapes of bib and where the toe point is make such a difference to how that lure reacts. And how a lure reacts at 3 metres under is a whole lot different to how it reacts just under the surface. I noticed this when I've been jumping in, and I didn't notice it as I was filming the lure, but when I was editing the footage, I'm just going, wow, that one's sort of got a searching action. That one hasn't got much action. Like there's all of these nuanced differences that maybe we can't see, but the fish definitely know the difference, don't they?
Oh, definitely. But even like we talk about lures, like the guys in Japan, in particular duo, they talk about temperature of the water.
Yep.
And everything with the suspending action. So, like.
Yeah, we like salt or fresh.
Yeah,
They're like
their temperature.
Yep.
Like that's how precise they like to get their lures. So
Yep.
I don't know if that's a good thing here for Australia because we have such a wide range, but
Well,
that's the way they do it.
Our range is temperature in a lure box on the dashboard,
Yeah.
or I left it in the shed over winter. That's that's how nuanced we are about that sort of stuff. Your relationship with duo seems to be on a real up at the moment. Like the guys make some great brim lures. Like we had the Tasmanian rounds last year where everyone got a pack of duos, and all of a sudden everyone's catching the hell out of them. I think Tassie is a good place to relaunch associations with product like that, but. Dan Steady in there at the moment has been feeding us some info, and you've got a lot of cool stuff coming from that company.
Yeah, we do. He's working quite hard behind the scenes with them. He talks to them on a regular basis, and it's going good. So the relationship's there now, and at the start it was you were
a distributor.
Yeah. Now they're taking on board what we say. What we want to use, what we want to do with their product, and some new product, which is pretty hard to do from a Japanese company sort of thing, is get them to change what they do. So it's next year is going to be really good for us.
I'm in the tackle industry, but I'm not in the tackle manufacturing. I'm a user and I'm a marketer, not a designer. How important is it, and this is a question for both of you, how important is it to have the real hero products? Like for Josh, for you, it's like the whitebait DS80. For you guys, it's the Nicole calls it the ginger ale. What is it, dark ale? The dark ale live mullet. What quantum of the popular and publicised colours does it, like how many more of those would you sell than these? Like what, would it be twice as many or 10 times as many or 50 times as many?
Well, I'll give you a different scenario. So say a 95mm fish trap in Fat Betty colour.
Yep.
When we're doing the ordering, we would order probably 1,500 to 2,000 of the Fat Betty.
Yep.
And probably 400 or 500 of the other ones.
Okay, so it might be 4 times as more popular. Would that be the same for you, Josh?
Yeah, it'd be similar. Yep.
Yeah.
So a hero colour is worth that much more to your company.
Yeah. So and the same with that one there at the like over the last few years with the longer and things like that colour there is.
Yeah. And I know why, because let's look at what it looks like. This is the barred grunter colour. It's like, what are they both replicating? They're replicating barred grunter. It's like using the local bait fish as cues for your design.
Well, these sort of colours, like in those clean water dams like a Wonga and things like that, you have to have that natural colour. But when you go into those dirtier limes like Faust and things like that, your pearl whites and your things like that, they work a lot better, So
how long does it take you to react? Say you release Tinkerbell colour here or whatever. One of this becomes an instant favourite. how long does it take you to catch up? And as I get a question for both of you, how long does it take you to catch up with demand? And have you ever been caught with everyone wanting this, and then you ordered 10,000 of them, and then next year they're not the hot colour?
Yeah.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah, that does happen.
That's just the tackle industry. But it all goes around like this.
Yep.
And when you line it up and get it on this way, when you're on the upstroke, you laugh at it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You just got to time it right.
You have to.
Time your investment right.
Yeah.
But you got to be willing to stick it out. You know, everything has its phases. Everything comes around again. Everything reinvents itself.
Yeah.
Like you're just saying this year, like the Gussy and that, it might be a different bite this year. You know, those fish might move towards the wall and do what they do, and then it might be a completely different bite. So it might be a soft bait bite, swim bait bite this year.
Well, I don't reckon I've ever had a Barra Tour that's been the same.
Yeah.
No, it always changes. And I can tell you, we dropped into Faust and saw a 50th of the fish in the basin that we saw last time. So I'm going up there prepared to say, I'm not going to be fishing there, I'm going to be fishing. So, but they might turn up in a week or two, but if they don't, that's cool because you get to do other things in the lake. Like it's such a, Faust is such a big lake with so many potential things you can do in it. It's, you'd be boring if you did the same thing.
I might get to fish Faust Point finally.
Maybe this is a year.
If we get a northerly, maybe. Yeah.
And that Josh was just saying while we were off air, he said, I've never been to Faust Point, it's been really good. Okay, you've never been there.
Yeah,
never been there in a northerly.
Yeah, I haven't fished it where, like, on my first year, like, it was like that, everybody would be lined up at Faust Point. I'm like,
And there'd be 20
there's going to be
boats.
lights everywhere, and then there hasn't been any because the bite has just been different. So, and technology's changed, so maybe it'll never be like that again. I'm not sure, but
I don't know. Whenever it's like that, I always look when you get that many boats. I never go there anyway.
Yeah, you're doing your own thing.
I do. That's why you guys all fished the basin last year, and I said to Adam, I can't do this. I can't stand watching other people in other boats catch fish. That's all right in my own boat.
It's all right if you're catching in front of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that's why I said, let's go. We'll go and do our own thing. Because you can't. You do. I mean, you lose concentration. You know,
because you're focused on something else.
And then you find yourself, oh, look at the action he's doing. You find yourself trying to fish the way they're fishing.
Instead of
concentrating on what you want to do. Yeah. So that's what I always just go away, leave. And then we did it last year. We were only just out behind you guys last year. So I thought we just didn't
Zig when you should have zagged.
Didn't convert them all. That's the
Give
problem.
us an update on your team. You've lost a teammate for the Barra Tour. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
Poor old Adam.
Poor old Adams has a few work commitments that he's had to go and do, so he's pulled out for this section. So, but I've got a pretty good substitute. I've got my godson, Cade. Cord's young fella. He's
What's he like on the Pepsi Maxes? Can he knock down 10 in a session?
Nah. I don't think he drinks Pepsi Max. I don't even actually know what.
I thought that was a prerequisite for your team. You've got to be able to drink.
No, that's Adam, mate. He loves it. He loves the Pepsi Max.
Adam, we love you. We're going to miss you in the last part of the tour, mate. And you can guarantee, because Adam's not going to be there, you're going to be red hot.
Cade is chopping at the bit. He spent this whole week. He's been off. He works away from work and then comes into work, and he's been tinkering with lures all week.
All right, so he is ready to go.
Oh yeah, no, he's going to be fully tuned up. He's going to love it.
On your boat, will it be the case? All right, we're going to move spots. Cade, you pull all the poles up.
No, he's got his own. I've got mine.
Okay, so you do your own. I'd get last on. Has to do all the shit jobs like pull the poles up and set them when you get there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to be like easing my way out of a seat with a Pepsi Max, and by the time I get to my seat, I'd like the pole set up, and I'd like to see fish. All right.
Cue in Nicole. You hear that?
That's how it is.
Get any ideas?
Yeah, he deploys the electric motor, and you've got to put a pole in.
Again, DK, thanks to you, thanks to Cord, thanks to your company for supporting barra fishing so much. It's awesome. Let's segue into Carl. We caught up with Carl this morning after he got off the plane. Didn't necessarily get his bags, but he didn't get in my car and he didn't get a look at his boat. Let's have a chat to the golden tapeworm himself, who is back in Australia.
Golden tapeworm.
He is a hard man to get hold of, but we have caught up with him at Mark Sarek's warehouse here, doing a little bit of work on the ski that he's going to be using. Carl Jocumsen, welcome back to Australia, mate.
Yeah, just had to travel 16 and a half hours to get here to do the interview, but we made it happen. But
Tell us who was there to meet you at the airport.
Yeah, got a awesome surprise. Mark came and picked us up, and there was someone in the front seat, and it was Scully, John Schofield. So that was a really awesome surprise. There he is, right there.
And you know, for people who don't know the backstory, who was the man who dragged this little yappy Toowoomba-like 14-year-old to the Bass Grand Final on Crestbrook in 2000?
Yep.
And he would never shut up during filming.
Yeah,
that was him, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Scully. He. That was where the dream started for me, and it got me into lure fishing. And Scully, you know, Crestbrook was my home lake that I grew up on, and then the ABT Grand Final came to Crestbrook for the final, and so I got to go there. There's a funny story where everyone was lined up all along the bank, and it was like still dark, and the fog was lifting, and I'm down there throwing this little fizzer in between the boats, and I caught like a 42, and I'm walking up to John saying, "John, look what I caught!" This little kid, and that was where it all started. And then Scully taught me to fly fish, about bass fishing. I just got so ate up with tournament fishing, and I've never looked back since. But it was because, you know, guys like John that took me under their wing, taught me, and I got to experience it. And then once I seen that you could turn it into competition as well as my passion, and that was it. And I was thinking about it the other day. In Australia, I never missed a single tournament that I could possibly fish from when I was 15 years old to when I was 26, and then from 26 to now, I just turned 40, which is ridiculous. I've never missed a single tournament in the US that I could fish. Every single Bassmaster Open and every single Elite Series event I've fished, I haven't missed one. So when someone says, "How did you do it?" and I thought about that, I was like, that's what you got to do.
Now, if I went and talked to your teacher at school, how many absent days would you have had? You missed a lot of school to go fishing.
There was a lot. They marked down how many days I was at school, not how many I missed. But I knew that's what I wanted to do, and I'm so glad I had my mum and a few people that supported me and just knew that was what I was going to do, and I ended up doing it. And
we remember the days your mum would drive you to the boat ramp, she would get out of the driver's seat, you'd get in, you'd reverse the boat back down the boat ramp to get it in, because your mum wasn't confident reversing.
No, she couldn't reverse the boat in, so I was just a little kid, but I knew how to get it in there. I'd back it in, and then mum would leave. And, you know, back then too, mum would just leave us at Crestbrook. It was the adventure, the camping, and, you know, actually the first tournament I ever went to was Maroon Grand Final, and that's when I first seen the Ranger bass boats lined up and stuff like that, and I'm like, this is crazy, because we had a little wooden boat with oars, and just progressive up from that, but just that was the time I saw it and saw how big it was. But it was the learning curve that ABT brought. Who shares wins, you got around people, and then when I started fishing with them, Jason Ehrlich was a big one, and that was the learning curve that I just was like a sponge. All of these guys knew more than me, and I wanted to know what they knew, and just kept getting better.
Tell us about, you're coming back now, and this is probably your second Barra Tour you've done in recent memory. Yeah, Gussy's more addicted, he does every year. The roles are nearly reversed now, because you come back to these guys who fish Barra, and man, these guys have got Barra dialed now, don't they? You're nearly learning from the Aussies about how to catch Barra. It's going to be good to see, you know, when you came back the first time, it was the Barra's cool, showing Gussy how to do it. But I'm pretty sure you want to be at the top of the leaderboard this time. You're going to be competitive.
Oh, yeah.
And that's sort of what's this about. You've got, you've got Mark's boat here, BLA, Kick the Can, got some nice new sounders and stuff going on there. So, so this year, mate, no excuses. You're going to be throw you in the deep end with the boys.
No, we did good from not, you know, I'd fished a few Barra Tours. I came second to Sai or one of them on Monduran there. I'd had a couple of good ones, and, you know, every chance we could, we'd leave. I used to work at Mulligut Marine. We'd drive to Awonga and not catch a Barra. I remember we did 6 trips to Awonga and never caught a Barra when I was back in the tackle days. And then I caught one, and then we just got better and better, kept learning all of that. But 2 years ago, the biggest one was mapping. That's the thing that Australia didn't have. And for me and Gussy, we know mapping, like that catches all of our fish in the US. That's like our starting point. That's our study. And Coastmaster Humminbird had the lakes mapped, and that's how we caught them all. We caught them off 360, but the mapping was so key. And so we'll be using a lot of that, a lot of live, a lot of 360, using all of the electronics that we can. But Humminbird's hooked us up, new Apex, a bunch of new stuff here. So, and huge thanks to Mark, because what a champion, just loans us his boat boat, and we get to rip up and fish these 3. And it's something that I look forward to every single year. I didn't get to fish it last year, but I tell people if you fish one Barra Tour, you're going to keep coming back. And now Gussy's coming back for his 3rd.
How did Jacob Wheeler get involved? We've got Jacob entered with Timmy.
Yep.
He's a Rapala guy. They're going to be representing Team Rapala up there. How did Jacob, did he approach you, or did you just start banging on so hard about Barra he had to come to shut you up? What happened?
Well, Timmy, Rapala and Tim hit me up first and said, who do you think would be a good guy? And so we were going, who was a part of Team Rapala basically in the US, and I'm like, well, Wheeler's the best angler in the entire world for the last 5 years.
Yep.
But what it is like I have that perfect connection where that it makes them feel comfortable about coming over. It's not just someone saying come to
Banging
a different country or
internet.
whatever, or a sponsor. I'm sure sponsors try and get him to travel all over the world, and he has been. And I just gave him a quick phone call, and he's helped me before, and I get along with him, and we talk about different stuff when we have. And I just told him about it, and he said, give me the rundown, gave him the rundown. He's like, dude, I think I'm in. And so we just went back and forward by email there, and now Jacob Wheeler's going to be over here fishing with Timmy, I think his Team Rapala. And that's going to be cool because he's a hammer, and he's going to want to win, and he's very competitive. So he's not going to be coming over here to try and experience catching a barra. He's going to want to win. And so me and Gussy are going to need to step up too, make sure he doesn't put it on us.
Do you want to be a fly on the wall when he gets his first barra bite, especially if it's like at timber, in the timber or somewhere where he is out of control for the first 30 seconds?
Well, that's what happened with Gussy. He caught his on Kinchin, and they all fight, but like Gussy said, I'd been talking it up so much that he's like, there's no way this is what it's like. And he's like, it might have been worse than what I was talking. He's like, it's everything you've said and even better. So that's the whole deal for me, is that barra bite. And I know there's some crazy connection between American bass fishermen and the barra, because it's so similar down every way except for just then you get that bite and that fight. So it's just amplified 1,000-fold, but it's relatable. Same bait casters, same rods, braid, leader, finicky fish, hard to get to bite, and so they adapt well to it, cast and retrieve. It's all of what we like US bass fishing love, and then that bite and everything is just out of control.
Yeah, it's the after the bite thing that just blows their mind. So we look forward to that, and hopefully Jacob's camera's rolling when that first one gets on there.
That's going to be the key. He's going to have his camera guy here. This is a big deal. Jacob is the best bass angler in the entire world, has been dominating for the last 5-10 years and more, and now he's coming to Australia to fish for Barra on the ABT tour. Like, it's cool, like full circle, seeing me and Gussy being able to come back, and we're just excited for him to experience it and then come up and see everyone. Like, Gussy just had an absolute blast. You guys end up coming to the Classic and watching him win. Friendships formed. The Barra Tour is by far my favourite tournament to fish. Like, basically, even on the Elite Series and everything, I love that. But, like, when I get to fish with my best mate in the boat, Gussy, and you're catching Barra, it doesn't get any better. This is, like, my thing that I just want to be able to come and do at least once a year, if not every 2 years.
It's really interesting, the kinetic in Barra, because most Elite events, Bream bass events over here, you were up at 4 in the morning. And, you're seeing the sunrise. At Barra, you were up first thing in the afternoon.
Yeah, and more social. Like,
it seems you've got more time, don't you?
And everyone's like helping each other, and I love those times sitting in the house. There's tackle spread out everywhere. Everyone's talking about a different hook, split ring, leader, knots.
Sharing gear.
Everyone's trying to figure out, because like, I was on top of it last year, and like, we got just destroyed several times where we got the bait back and it literally had nothing left on it, and it was all upgraded stuff, and they just tore
it to bits.
Yeah, just tore it to shreds. And then you come back and you're like, and then someone's like, no, don't use that split ring or hook, or the leader materials, like getting chewed off on the bite, going to 100 pound. Like, we take a lot back from this to take back to the US too, because it's finicky stuff, and like, we like all the little edge stuff, and like landscape mode and things with live. We got to see that several years ago, and now that's taking off in the US, and we were kind of been able to be on top of that because we came here early. So the interesting thing is the Australians are very on top of the electronic side of things and and all of the gear as well, but you know, they're high advanced. It's big in the US, obviously, but they're advanced here. So we take a lot of tricks back from, especially going into tournament. It amplifies everything. When you go into the tournament scenario and everything gets destroyed, you start to narrow things down and like this worked and that worked. And then me and Gussy get to take stuff back to the US and try it on the largemouth bass.
Well, I think it's an awesome synergy. We're looking forward to seeing how everyone goes up there. At the end of the day, catching a barra is great, but catching a barra and taking a trophy home better. You're going to have a tough time with Timmy. Timmy got 2 of those in the last 2 events. He'll probably lead with those, as you see in the first time. But,
come in for a hug with 2 of them.
Yeah, that's it. You know us Morgans, we know how to rub stuff in. Mate, appreciate you making the time this morning. I know you only just got off a plane.
Yep.
Enjoy yourself in the next, we'll see you in a bit of a week, mate, up north.
1 week.
If you're watching now and you're in the area, probably the best place to catch up to you would be the tour launch, which is at Tackle World Mackay, 9 o'clock on the Monday morning. What date is it, Nicole? The 11th. So if you're there, want to come there sort of after about 8:30 in the morning, you might be able to catch up with Carl and
signing up and getting all that stuff.
That's right. You've got a bit of time. If you're up north and you want to access him, that might be a great place to do it.
Yep.
See you in a week, mate.
Yeah. If you've got a team or you want to fish for Barra, I can't recommend it enough. Even if you've never jumped in a Barra Tour event before, you haven't fished a tournament, the Barra Tour is the way to do it because everyone is going to help you. You're going to have a good time. You're going to fish with one of your mates. You're going to help each other. You're going to come out of it a better angler by far. And I'm excited for the next 3 weeks. It's going to be fun.
Wow, I was sort of, I'm sort of re-excited about Barra Tour. Then Carl says even I'm going to go all right.
Yeah, there you go.
And he's right. It's a great collection of champion anglers we have there. You know, I think that the international is going to enjoy fishing with us.
I think so too.
That's the only reason why they come, I think.
I was talking about you.
Yeah.
So look, there's not much more to say about the Barra stuff apart from if you wanted to try a Barra event, try it this year when you can hang around with those guys because I'm sure the Barra guys that are the regulars are going to be sponges off those fellas and vice versa. You know, I think it's a two-way street. And if you're only going to do like an event or two, do the Faust ones because the Faust is so social.
Yeah.
You can get the catering package. Someone else cooks all your food. All you do is sit around, rig and tackle, talk and crap all day, and punctuated by a pirate party night in the middle. Like this is one of the props of the party night right here. What's his name, Nicole? Bones. Old Bones is rocking the Barra Series singlet already. I think Bones was a rocker in his previous life. He's got that sort of long, hard rock haircut going on. Oh, Dicko, show him. Look.
Should we call?
You're trying to work out which way to go.
Oh, there he is. There's his head anyway.
Just wave to him with your Bones. Bones is coming on Barra Tour for party night.
And we got the pirate rum.
Oh yeah, Quarters got the rum sponsorship. We have a rum sponsor, so I think everyone's got to do a shot of rum on the way in.
Yeah, it's initiation.
And let me just say that I think the knot tying competition is coming back.
Yeah.
If you don't remember the last time there was a grand final of the knot tying competition, it was Karim de Ridder versus Rob Payne.
Yeah.
And I thought that if I was Karim and I lost, and Karim did lose, he would have just maybe picked Robbie up like this and said, "Come on, dude, let's take this outside."
Yeah.
But he is a gentle giant. And I think that the knot competition will come back this year. I think we tried some more complicated entertainment last year. Let's just say that the level of sophistication of the Barra anglers was not up to the task.
No.
Picking up spiders with chopsticks and stuff was way... Even Josh was having trouble with that.
That was hard.
So
we'll miss Adam this year at the party too.
We will miss Adam. I think Adam was probably the second best dressed of the night.
Well, he won best dressed.
It was good. Try and find some social media photos of it. You won't. You won't find them out there.
No, that's all right.
But anyway, let's we're speaking rubbish now. Let's talk to our Australian team anglers who actually do know how to catch largemouth bass and who gave the Italians and the US a bit of a towel up in Italy, which I think is preposterously good. How do you beat America and the host nation for a species of fish where the nearest one is like probably New Caledonia or the Philippines or somewhere like that? It is ridiculous. Let's talk to Tommy Borat Wood and Mitchell Cohn about their Italian experience.
This is what the Australian bass fishing team, or at least 2 members of the Australian bass fishing team, look like when they're not representing Australia over in Europe. Mitch Cohn piloting a tractor, and Tommy Wood looks like you're piloting Harry Potter's room under the stairs, mate. What's going on?
Quickly raced home because there was a bit of background noise going on at the workshop. So,
and Coney, give us a brief rundown of what you're doing, mate. What are you planting and where?
Mate, I'm out the back of Willow Tree at the moment, and we've got about 3,000 acres of sorghum to sow. So I've pretty well got off the plane Tuesday night. Started Wednesday morning, and we'll be going solid here until wheat harvest starts here in a couple of weeks. So yeah, straight back into it. No rest for the wicked.
So that's good, mate. It's good to see that not only do you guys dominate largemouth bass fishing tournaments on the other side of the world, you do productive stuff when you're back home, keeping Australia fed. And Tommy, what do you do? You keep Australia in sounders, keep their sounders working.
Yeah, and speakers.
And speakers, yeah. Make sure they got tunes on the water. In fact, Tommy, I reckon you could probably do a pretty good upgrade job on Mitchie's tractor. Put a big screen in there, you know.
Put some disco lights in there and everything.
All be good. Guys, let's start with you, Mitch. You were part of a team that was only grams away from winning the whole thing as an individual team. You and Langers did Australia proud, mate, led from the start and put some great results on the board. Firstly, can you just explain how the point system works? Because there are a lot of Aussies and Americans not understanding the way the scoring works. So run through that first.
Yeah, so the point scoring is, they call it penalties, but I guess the easiest way to say it is your position each day is your penalty point. So I think Langers and myself had a fourth, a sixth, and a fifth and a half because we tied with Germany on the last day. So that was our penalties, you know, for the day, and it's exactly the same as the team. It was our combined 3 teams. Their scores over the 3 days was our penalty points.
So it really is a team event. It doesn't matter if you've got the hero team that comes first. If you've also got last, and last, then you're never going to win, are you? You've got to get it's all about how the worst team goes, isn't it? You got to get your teammates up.
Exactly, and as we spoke about before, who shares wins, you know, the ABT motto, and I think that really helped us boys because we weren't in it for individual accolades. I mean, it was great, don't get me wrong, to do it, but it was something we never spoke about, like up until the last day, and I think that's why we do a little bit better than some of the other countries, is because we don't really care who catches them or, you know, that sort of thing. We're in it as a team and as a country, and that's why we do so well, I think.
That's what they say, isn't it? A champion team beats a team of champions.
Exactly, and there was a lot of champions over there, that's for sure.
I'll get into that in a while. Tommy Wood, I think you were the last minute call up. As Barra Angler of the Year, you got yourself an invite across there, and I think your electronic skills and your overall 600% go all the time sort of helped you fit in there, mate. How was the experience for you? And let's start at the airport when your ticket didn't work.
Oh yeah, I have so much bad luck with travel. I don't know what the go is, but yeah, no, Coney rang me up like a couple months beforehand, and he was like, "You want to be part of the team?" And I was like, "I really can't afford this." So I rang Dad, and he's like, "Just do it. Don't worry about the money. Just go." And I was like, "All right, I'll do it." And I didn't really realize it was such a big deal, the tournament series. And we got over there, and like practice was unreal. It was just so much fun just to catch a few larges again. But like even official practice days, they had camera crew out there filming you, interviewing everyone, and the media coverage was just insane. I was like, this is unreal. And like then tournament day came, it was just really well run, and just the experience was awesome. Like it was awesome.
How much of the media coverage related to your efforts out in the water, and how much related to your haircut?
Yeah, the haircut, they loved it. The blonde mullet.
Coney, you're one of the senior members of the team there. One of the comments I reckon we had in the office here was that check out how classy everyone is in the opening ceremony, apart from the Aussies that are wearing pluggers and shorts. What's going on with that?
Yeah, pretty well. Yeah. No, well, you got to be comfortable, don't you? Like it's, you know, we're not putting on any. We're not putting on any acts for anyone. That's just who we are and what we do. Hickson put shoes on, so I mean, like we tried a little bit. Like.
Yeah, true. And another interesting thing I saw, and I'm sure Nicole will whack an overlay of this in here at the moment. I know that I saw beforehand you guys had some team bonding in some like hot, salty spa. And Dad said, if that photo is not in about 15 memes in the next 12 months, I'll have to eat this hat. Because what was going on there? Is it a team that nudes up together, does well together? Is that another lesson for the rest of the world or what?
We told Chris not to take any photos, but he still did.
He was proud. He was the proud.
I stayed out of that one.
Coney, you weren't there.
No, I was there. I went to the hot springs, but I was a little bit under the weather. I think I got some sort of Italian bug or something, and I decided not to get hot and cold again. So I think it was a good move to sit that one out. The boys had to shower about 6 times just to get the calcium off them. So it was pretty funny.
Not so bad.
So Tommy, you've indulged in a bit of Italian culture now. Give us a bit of Italian accent there. Say something in Aussie Italian.
Ciao bella. That was like one of the biggest lines. It means "Hey beautiful," and a few blokes got into that actually. A couple of unsuspecting blokes walking past, hit him with the "Ciao bella."
Oh really? I thought you said cowbell.
Do you want to tell them? He learned some new
let's
lines
go a
for
little
some
bit
songs too, actually.
Tell us, Tommy.
I can't remember.
What was the big pizza pie or big? What was your?
Oh, amore. That's amore.
Tommy,
yeah.
No one can
it was a lot
accuse you.
with old Tommy.
No one can accuse you, Tommy, of being a well organised, on the minute traveller. You just wing it wherever you go and seem to have a lot of fun doing it. So well done. Let's talk a little bit about the fishing. When I was talking to you a bit earlier, Mitch, you said that you Aussie sort of disregarded a bit of local advice and did your own thing, and that paid off in the end. Just run through some of the fishing tactics and how they related to how we fish over here.
Yeah, well, we were quite fortunate. We 2 days early for some pre-practice, and we got a guide over there. Like one of the local Italian guys took us out for a little bit, and his knowledge was unbelievable. And what he said was very close to what happened, but it was just trying to get through our heads that you're meant to start in, say, 6 meters of water, start deep and move shallow through the day. And we just couldn't sort of fathom that. And the areas and everything we found, we kind of did off our own bat, actually, and which was nice. And I guess it's always good when you got trust in the other 5 anglers that are out there, that what they say is really happening. That we only needed little bits and pieces from everyone, and we put a really solid game plan together. Like Hickson got a couple of fish on a swim jig during practice, and that was good enough for everyone to have a swim jig tied on for the first day of official practice. And we learnt really quick that works. So it's just good to be able to implement, what one guy does, in the team. You're always throwing something different, but it's always good to have that one guy that you got confidence in throwing the same sort of stuff that you're doing.
Tell us about the quality of the fishing. It was a 5 fish limit each day, but did you catch only 5 a day, or were you catching lots of fish and searching for those key upgrades? Like, what was the quality of fishing like?
No, the quality was unbelievable, and to be honest, it wasn't a very big lake. It was kind of like St Clair, we could see the bottom in 25 feet of water. It was unbelievably clear, lots of weed pockets. We thought the fishing was going to get super tough. So, to be honest, we probably laid off our fish a little bit on day one, thinking we got to save these. Like, we've got a decent bag, we better go easy. So we went a little bit easy on day one. Had we known that, like, it got better and better kind of thing, as the day went on, we probably should have went a little bit harder on day one. I think, like, on mine and Langer's personal side of things, our smallest bag was our best finished, believe it or not, and our biggest bag was our worst finish. So it's kind of, very hard to know what the lake's going to do over 3 days. But, the quality of the fish and the amount of fish that are in that lake was unbelievable. We caught, we were catching 15, 20 fish a day, up over a kilo, all the way up, 2.2 kilos. So unbelievable fishery.
That's awesome. Tommy, take us through the strategy on your boat. You were fishing with, who are you fishing with? Chris.
Yeah.
You're fishing with the Aussie captain there, mate. And I've seen a couple of clips you put on social media. You use some of your American skills to roll out in Italy, or what?
Yeah. Heaps of American skills. Like, we did a heap of different stuff. So, like, I know the first day, like what Coney was saying, we try not to lean on too much. So we sort of got our bag and, like, just made small upgrades and kept leaving the spots, and it was kind of hard because we're like, usually, as Coney says, the fishing gets harder, but it got better. And, like, after day 2, we realized we got to really hammer down on these fish. But, like, I think the first day, me and Chris, we just sort of jumped spots a lot, like, just kept hitting different hot spots, and, like, they were just isolated grass towers, and a lot of those isolated areas got hit straight up, and the fish just got flogged. So we got our 5 off it, and it was really hard to upgrade from there. And then at the end of that first day, we found like a little honey hole. It was like a little stretch of this certain type of grass that grows all the way to the top, and it probably went for about 30 foot. And we rocked up there on the end of the first day, and we got like a 2-kegger straight up. I'm like, all right, we might start here tomorrow. We went straight there on day 2, and I was fishing a chatterbait at first because it was like a little bit windy, but we have like on the group chat, we're always telling each other, just got one on a swim jig, and I think Coney and Langers might have just got 2 on a swim jig early, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to pick up the swim jig and give it a go. And it was not long after that, bang, 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 just caught them all on a swim jig. And I guess that sort of helps having the team there working as a group. We all sort of tell each other what's going on, where we're catching them and what we're catching them on, and it sort of definitely helped me out in the water as well. So
that's not too different to what happens in Australia, because you still tell your mates what you catch them on, but in Australia it's just lies.
Yeah. Yeah, almost leaky, mate.
Coney, you're telling me that it's that the 50-meter thing over there is a real issue, and everyone's got range finders and stuff. Tell us that story, because in Australia, if there's a problem with encroachment, you just sort it out the boat ramp back there and you have a word to old mate. But over there, they got the laser guns. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's actually a rule, like it's written in the FIPSED rule that, it takes away the guesswork, or, you can't say that, well, old mate come within 50 metres of me. Like, everyone's meant to have a rangefinder. So, yeah, it takes the guesswork out. We all had observers or marshals on our boat, so you could literally give the rangefinder to him, say, range that fella. Like, if push comes to shove and you've got to talk about it at the captain's meeting, like, it's at their discretion. So it is tough, because there was at one point there we lost a few chatterbaits, and we were trying to get chatterbaits off the other boat, but you literally can't go within 50 metres of your own team either. So the boys were putting chatterbaits in empty drink bottles for us and throwing them as far as they could out the back of the boat, and it does make it pretty hard to just to swap a little bit of gear on the water if you need something. But yeah, like I said, it's an interesting factor, and it's all like, it's very what's the word? Like, you got to really think about how you go about it. Like,
strategic.
It's the strategies, I guess. They're a big part of the outcome for each day.
Coney, tell us about the raffle that you run, and it's still running. It's got a few days left until it's drawn. There's some sensational prizes there, and it's still open, isn't it?
Yeah, unbelievable raffle. I think it's up to about $15,000 worth of prizes. So Garmin have jumped on board with a full 12-inch live scope setup, LVS 34. Them guys were huge in hooking us up with some gear to go to Italy as well. There's Bassman spinner packs. There's Samaki packs, Daiwa packs. Mick Johnson's put up some driving lights. There's a $1,000 gift voucher for Manning River Marine, and I'm sure you know how much stuff's in that shop. Like, if they don't have it, like, it's probably not worth having.
Yep.
Just unbelievable prizes, and jump on, help us out. Like, we're all self-funded. Like Tommy mentioned earlier, it does cost us a lot of money to do this sort of stuff and get over there. So any little bit helps, and we appreciate every single person that bought a ticket or helped us with the GoFundMe or the supporter tees. So it's greatly appreciated. I hope everyone does, realise that it means a lot.
How do now? I'm sure Nicole again will be able to generate a QR code and put on the screen for people to scan that are watching their tellies. But how do they find that link to the raffle ticket page?
Yeah, even just the Team Australia Facebook page. We've always got updated links there. You can have a scroll through some of the videos and the prizes and that there. But yeah, our Facebook page, Team Australia Bass.
Yep.
Fishing, I think it's called. That's the best way to jump on. There's links there that'll take you straight to till the 9th of November, and we'll go live. And a few of the Americans signed a few shirts for us too, so there might be some other cool stuff on the night of the draw.
Now, Coney, your signal's getting a bit dodgy, so I'm going to leave it there for you. But I want Tommy to finish off this segment. I want you to give us in your best Italian. Go Australia. We came second at the World Championships in Italian. Go for it now, mate. Go.
Go Australia! We come a second. Yes, very nice.
That sounds like Borat, mate. That's not Italian. Thanks, guys. Congratulations. Appreciate you taking the time. Tommy, at least we'll see you or Tomato Wood or whatever your Italian name is on Barra Tour. And thanks, Coney, for your time this Saturday.
Right, see you, boys.
No, I appreciate it, and thanks for your support, guys, while we're over there and back here. So,
Yeah.
There you go, eh? Tommy Borat Wood. I don't think he's ever going to recover from that one.
Oh, I'm gonna hear that a lot on tour. I think
We'll hear it across the basin at Fowles.
his
Very nice.
South African's very good, but I think I'm going to hear a lot of Borat this year.
A lot of faux Italian. Dicko, you have one more little surprise for us. Is this out of the secret vault from Wilson's that you're not allowed to show anyone?
No. This is a new colour that's just come in.
Is it in the shelves yet?
It is. I'm going to bring some up to try and give to everyone at Fowles.
Oh, really? So everyone have a sample of that? What's it called?
It's called Pearl Magic. So
Did your fish trap gun, Liam, have anything to do with designing this, or is this a you thing?
No, this is believe it or not, this is actually one of our customers who actually requested this colour down actually Victoria way.
So is it? What is it supposed to be? Is it supposed to be bait fish but with some accents?
Yeah, with just a little trigger points, UV trigger points. It actually, you put a UV torch on, it's actually got a nice UV stripe down the centre of it too.
Oh, yeah,
so it
I
actually
can see
stands
that.
out quite well.
So you got some of these in the bigger sizes for the Barra, or do you just need to catch them on this size?
No, I'm going to bring some 95mm ones up.
All right.
For the Barra Tour.
So the whole thing is hit up Dicko on tour, say, give us a bit of magic, mate.
Yeah, no, I'll give everyone one.
Give some magic. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, as usual, your support for the sport is amazing. Josh, yourself, you've come on. You're a very active member of the Barra family now.
Yeah.
And I think you half fund your sponsorship with winnings because you do pretty good.
It goes to Tommy.
And does it go to Tommy?
Yeah,
Is that
so
how
I
it
can
works?
go to Italy and chase bass.
So wait a sec. Let's go on Tommy's sponsorship model. You go on Barra Tour. Who pays all the bills on Barra Tour?
I pay the bills.
Yep. And then if you win prize money,
Tommy gets
it, and he uses to go fishing without you.
Yep.
Kids, be like Tommy Wood.
Yeah, I agree.
Tommy's got it nailed.
Yeah, I'm just living my dream through him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we all are.
We all are.
Guys, thanks very much for coming in. We have one more thing to do, though. It is to announce the winner. And that is, he was watching on Facebook, Evan Matthews from Rockhampton. Evan, if you're watching, send us your address via Facebook Messenger to the ABT page that you are watching it on, and we will post that out to you, hopefully quicker than we got the last ones.
All this stuff, isn't it?
You're going to put all this stuff in. Well, don't put that in. This is your secret sample. But yeah, it's all that stuff, including the stuff that Josh added in there, some Reddick. So I reckon that's $250 worth of gear.
Oh,
there.
easy.
Oh, and Evan, send us your singlet size because we're going to put one of these in as well. We don't mind if you're 6XL. We don't mind if you're a small or anything in between. We've got stocks of everything right now. You will see these things rocking the Barra Tour. Everyone except Josh will be wearing. You'll be wearing yours backwards because is there a Samaki logo on the back there somewhere?
Yeah.
It's got to be on the right. Is it at the top or the bottom or where?
Right under the venom.
Right under the venom.
Rare gauge there, mate.
So Josh will be wearing his backwards. Everyone else will be wearing theirs forwards. There we go, mate.
Inside out, beautiful.
Thanks for joining us tonight for making the journey here. I'm pumped for Barra Tour.
So
Me too.
Pumped?
I'm going Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Go Tuesday.
I'm going Tuesday.
We're going Wednesday. When are you going?
I was going Thursday, but I might go Wednesday now.
So it'll be Tuesday by next week.
You got your way, Tommy. You got your way.
Guys, that's live for tonight. We'll see you again, maybe before the Bream Grand Final or maybe at the Bream Grand Final. Might have something secret in store.